So, y'all go and keep eating, drinking, getting dessert, everything that you would like. There's lots of food. Thank you everybody who brought food tonight, who helped set up. And thank you to all of you parents and athletes that participated this year. I know this year was a little bit different with everything that we had to go through from the very beginning when we thought we're going to have a fall season, then we're not going to have a fall season, then we're going to go into the winter, then we're not going to be the winter, then we're going to go into the spring. So all of the stop and go and the yes, we're going to practice, no, we're not going to practice, starting off in pods with masks and social distancing and having to clean the balls between uses and all of that stuff that we had to do at the very beginning just so that we could make sure that we had a season for you guys. And this is what it was about. It was for all of you guys because we wanted to make sure that this worked out for all of you, all of you students, seniors, your last year, you know, making sure that this was something, and I know a lot of you seniors have played before, youth league into this high school, so we wanted to make sure that we did everything possible for you guys. We wanted to make this happen. So I think I speak for all of us up here that, you know, we made it. It was tough, it was hard. And you know, we're just extremely, extremely happy that we were able to be able to finish the season and not get anybody sick or anything like that. You know, we had, with the scheduling and everything this year, you know, people working, not, you know, sometimes not able to come to practice. Sometimes we had like 6 people at practice. We're like, man, are we gonna have enough people for the game on Saturday? It was a challenge. It really was, you know, coming together, practicing, getting time together. I think it wasn't until the last week of the season that we had everybody at practice one time. And that just goes to the scheduling, you know, with everything else going on. I know some athletes might have, you know, was in cross country and soccer. We're still, you know, having to depend on Myra for rides and stuff. And I know we had a lot of folks that wanted to play but couldn't make it. Some younger freshmen and stuff, they wanted to play, but they didn't have a ride. Parents worked, couldn't get to practice. So, you know, we should have had a lot more people. There was a time after the first game where we only had 11 people to field, and of those 11, 9 were healthy. So it was tough, to say the least, and I'm glad everybody stuck it out and made the commitment to do it. The challenges with work schedules and school schedules and everything else, I mean, it was tough, and I thank you guys for sticking it out. It made it difficult, but this was a special year, I think. We had a lot of good, everybody did well with each other, had good communication, good cohesion as a team. You guys were very, very resilient. I will say that. We had, you know, people not playing their normal positions, changing people around, people not comfortable and stuff, and changing all of that up throughout the season. It made for a tough year. We were in a tough district. I mean, all the teams we played in district last year, all of them made the quarterfinals and semifinals and the finals of state tournament last year. So they were very, very good teams. And, you know, as the season went on, we got better and better and better, and we were able to stay on the field with them and do well. So we didn't get the results we wanted, but I think with all the challenges and everything we went through, I think we did a heck of a job. And I thank you guys, commend you very much. So, with that, I guess we can go ahead and start with awards. Yay? Okay.
I swear. I swear. Auburn. God, this better not stay.
So, first thing.
It will. It stays for me all the time, so shut up. Get used to it.
Oh, your own though.
Shut up. At least I don't fake an actual injury.
I didn't fake it.
This is like practice every day. So, you know, last year we did a, you know, fun thing like at the end of the season where we had a skills competition where everybody on the team participated and we did different skills and you know, see who was the best dribbler, the best, most accurate kicker and stuff. You know, with scheduling and everything else, it was tough to get that done this year. But we did a smaller skills challenge and had people compete. So I just kind of want to real quick relay some of the results from that. So we have the figure 8 challenge, which is dribbling in a figure 8 pattern through cones. We had a tie for first to see who could go out and back the most times in a minute, I believe it was. And we had a tie between Carlos and Daniel, who each had 5. So there was another one called the 5x5. So it's basically 2 cones 5 yards apart. And this one tested your dribbling skill and ball control, and you had to see how many times you could go back and forth between the cones dribbling without losing control, so you count the number of times back and forth. And in that one, we had Daniel win with 11 times.
Not humble at all.
So there was another one where we were, it was kind of a passing drill where we set up balls at different distances, and we had a gate that they had to run back and forth and make passes through the gate. And then that first place went to Carlos with 13, and there was a tie for second place between Ethan and Dessa at 12. And we had another one where we had shots on goal, and we had little targets on the corners of the goal, so the little targets were worth 3 points. The middle was 2, or in between the middle of the goal and those smaller targets was 2 points, and then 1 point for the middle of the goal. So in that one, this is really cool because the girls way outdid the boys in this. First place was Iris with 19 points. Second place was Dessa with 18 points. And there was another receiving and passing drill that they did, and again, the girls shined in this one. In this one, the receiving and passing drill, Iris won it with 7, and Carlos and Myra tied with 6 for second place. And then the last drill was dribbling in a T shape, so we set up cones in a T shape, and there was a specific route that they had to go do, and it was timed, and the fastest time through that was Ethan at 15 seconds, 15.42 seconds, and then Joelle was second at 15.5 minutes. So good job, and hopefully when we get back to a more normal schedule, we'll have all of the challenges and stuff to be able to do that and keep track of this, over the years, and kind of see kind of where you founding folks stand compared to people that come after you. So it'll be really fun to see. All right, so without me talking anymore, hopefully, we'll go ahead and go into the awards. And so this year's awards, we had field awards, kind of like we did last year. So when you come up for your award, I guess we'll have a picture over here with one of the coaches. So everybody that played on the team this year, everybody played minutes in games this year. So everybody qualifies for a letter. So if you don't have a letter already from another sport, you get a letter and the soccer pin. If you've already lettered and have a letter in another sport, then you just get the pin. But basically, everybody on the team lettered this year. So congratulations to you all. And so with the awards, we'll give the letter, a certificate, pin, a framed picture, and then there's another small picture with that. And then we have kind of a fun gift for everybody that you will get as well. So you go home with a whole bunch of stuff that's really cool, hopefully. Hopefully you'll like. So, for our first award, unfortunately she's not here, but this is this award is the Rising Star Award. So this goes to an 8th grader, Dessa LaFont. She came in really timid, really scared, came out and actually had to start the first game against Oak Grove and actually did really well. So her confidence boosted and stuff, and so we see her as being a rising star in the future. So yay, Dessa. Our next one, unfortunately, she's not here either. the Rising Leader Award. And this one goes to Iris Castañeda. She showed a lot of maturity this year. She's only a freshman, but she actually, was very talkative, communicative in practices and stuff. She was speaking up and trying to get folks to, to do things and trying to lead as a freshman. And that shows a lot of courage because, a lot of times people are intimidated by the older students on the team. So we think she did really, really well. And she was even rewarded with being captain for one of the games. So congratulations to Iris. And this individual really impressed me, surprised me a little bit when we played Socorro in Socorro. This individual, she is getting a never back down she has a never back down attitude. An amazing little player. She came into practice super timid, didn't want to talk, didn't want to say anything. We're like, trying to even get her name out. We're like, I can't hear you. But then she came out in that game and she totally floored the other team. Some of the kids from Socorro were like, holy, she'd take the ball away from that stand there watching. You're like, who is this person? So Rocio Reyes, thank you. Right. And so I mentioned people playing different positions and sometimes not being comfortable or familiar with positions. So this player is getting the Transitional Player Award. And this goes to Ruben Garcia because he had been our goalie forever. And this year he actually stepped out and wanted to play on the field. So he came out and actually did a phenomenal job for us on defense, in midfield, and we even put him at striker. So he kind of transitioned into all kinds of things from goalie, which can be hard to do because if you're used to going for the ball with your hands, we don't want you doing that when you're on the field. So Ruben, thank you.
Let's go, Ruben! Yeah! Why are you smiling? Let's.
All right, so this is the other award that I think we forgot to give the first couple. So we got hoodies, kind of cool. It has Hot Springs Tigers soccer on it, and then it has your last name on one of the sleeves. So pretty cool. Hopefully you guys like them.
You got 4 more years, girl.
You won't be able to wear that the rest of your life.
See, the thing about me is that I'm not going to grow anymore, so it's going to be fitting forever.
I just said
All right,
that.
so this next award, we call it the Wounded Warrior Award, and this went to Victor Munoz. Before the first game of the season, he came to practice on crutches and hobbled up. We're like, what's going on? Because he was at practice the day before, and he comes the next day, we're like, did that happen in practice? He's like, no. So he ended up hurting himself in basketball, which is another story because they went and won state. But he came to practice, hobbled up, and he came and still sat and listened and watched and tried to participate. And all season he was limping around, and he did a phenomenal job for us on the field. And he did that all year, just completely hurt with an ankle brace and wrapped every day, every game. We were going to the thing, and Coach Amy could tell you every freckle on his foot because she saw his foot so much.
Come on.
So Victor Munoz.
Alrighty, I'm speaking into microphones there, but we'll continue this on. Next award goes to a player who I know very well. I know lots of players very well, but I know him particularly well.
Stop it.
But yeah, I know, right? It's okay, Ruben.
Oh.
I'm not talking to Ruben. No, this player, continued to push himself athletically and kept on going harder and harder every time we asked him to. And this goes to, it's called the Marathon Miler, and that goes to Ethan Kalmanson.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't mean he's, on top of it.
Yo, come on. All the boys. Camera.
Oh, the entourage is over here. Look at the mama's camera.
Yeah, I took
Wait, on there.
I got you.
All right, how many? I didn't take that as many.
Like, yeah, that's it.
The next award, again, I know this player very well. It's not Ruben. No, I'm just kidding. I do know Ruben very well, but I know this player very well. Has known him for a very long time. Has always been out on the field. Has tried his best, pushing himself towards trying to make a goal. Right? We all want to make goals, but he always pushes himself. Sometimes he flops. No, he doesn't, but for good reason, he did get injured. I didn't show the rest of that clip because it was him laying on the ground for about 10 minutes. No.
It wasn't 10 minutes, it was like 30 seconds.
This one goes to, and I bet we could all say it together, this is the Offensive Improvement Award, okay? And we all can say together, this goes to Miguel.
I thought you were talking about Hayden. Hayden doesn't flop, he actually plays well. Did you see his We can say that we're your brothers.
I'm your friend.
We're friends with each other.
I have more power than you guys.
Oh, shut up. You don't need this anymore.
Thank you.
Flopper alert. Oh, cool. This I did. You got me. No, I got for you. Yeah, flopper.
Yes, you are.
So,
Once a flopper, always a flopper.
Hey,
he's not wrong.
Hey, you joined the club.
This next award goes to a player who always was there to help all of our defense. He was always trying to make sure that he was always improving himself in defense. He was new to the field. He didn't know the game very well, but he knew he knew soccer, but this is his first time on a team. And so it was always good to see a player who had to develop and grow with not only himself, but with his teammates. Unfortunately, he's not here. This is the Defensive Improvement Award, and this is going to Victor.
I thought it was yours, right?
And this next award goes to a player who still is young and is new, or is going to always improve himself. But we put him in a goalkeeper position, and this player took that with good stride. He didn't stop, and he wasn't afraid. Goalkeeper, as Ruben knows and Noel knows, it's not an easy position to play, right? The ball is coming at you, and it's coming at you fast. And for a player who's never played this position, and when we put him in there, he was just shining, and he was able to stop the ball and get some extremely tough teams. So this goes to the most improved goalkeeper, and this goes to Isaac Nunez. Alright, moving on, continuing on. The next player we have is a player who, you know, didn't always, initially when I first met him, didn't seem to have a lot of confidence. He always kind of would bring himself down a little bit, and I always would have to remind this player that it's not about, you know, whether you think you're going to help the team or not help the team, but by being there, you're helping the team. By improving every single day, you're helping the team. By being there, you know, being out on the field, being there for practice, not being late for practices, that means a big thing, you know. And so this is to a player who continued to improve the entire season, and has just surprised us all, really, in what he's done and his skills. And we obviously hope he continues to play, because he has he is continuing to build and will have a great career in soccer if he so chooses to. And this is going to the most improved player, and this is going to Caden Tisdale.
Hey, we got our paparazzi for Caden. Cool. Paparazzi.
Focus.
Didn't even take any pictures. I was just there.
I was just there. I wanted to feel included.
You were there for Morris before.
Alrighty, continuing on, this is a dual award to two players that during the season, you know, never missed a practice, always showed up even for summer practices. They're like, oh, that's not me.
No, it's not that. Well, sorry.
But these two individuals, you know, as joking around as they may be, you know, when they're on the field, whether it's in play, whether it's actually in a game, sometimes you gotta get them there, you know. But they were dependable. You could always count on them being there, always, you know, to support the team. Regardless of what position you put them in, they were there, they would do it. And this is going to two different players. It's called the most dependable, and it's going to Daniel Garcia and Ethan Callinson. Don't get in the letter because of this, you just get the award.
Let's go. Hey, that's me.
Oh, so cute.
This one we have to be creative.
Turn. That's right. Let's go. Turn your shoulder.
Suck in the gut. Yes, we're trying.
Work it. There you go.
I know, you gotta give the soap tray out.
Okay, let's do YouTube. Just for a second.
Yeah, I know.
That's your sweatshirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which way?
Turn around.
Yeah.
Turn around back with me.
You.
Wait, she was still
I'm like walking back again.
Nice voice.
Yeah,
Do you remember that one time my voice was cracking so hard?
Yeah.
Every 5 seconds it would
I
crack.
think it was Nemi.
Yeah, I was screaming.
Great. Bro.
You were crippled.
So I have the privilege of presenting the next award. It's for someone who didn't play goalkeeper, but probably played every other position on the field. And he was elected pretty unanimously by the coaches to often be the captain because of his leadership skills, his knowledge of the game, his commitment, his respect for his teammates, his respect for the coaches, his respect for the referees, which we don't always agree with, right? And so there are lots of reasons why someone gets selected as captain, but this person really embodies many of those, and we're so grateful that he's been a leader on this team. And the most versatile player goes to Guarana.
There you go.
Sit on it. We'll let you guys.
Can I take a picture of myself taking a picture? You're not pushing the button. Just gonna stand here taking weight.
I'm just like the picture then. I'm saving that.
And for anyone that heard the post-game debrief or came to a game this year knows it was a tough year. It was a tough year. But from my personal experience and then watching new and upcoming players and teams, it's usually those who play against high caliber players and teams that rise, that grow the most, that are challenged the most, and really come out a stronger person in the end because they've had to really work for it. They've had to overcome a lot. And so this year, I'm so proud of the whole team, but a particularly hard position to be in this year was goalkeeper. Really, we really relied on them to have mental agility, to be able to bounce back, and to really have strength, mental strength. We know they have the skills, the physical skills to play that position, but the mental game when you're a keeper is big. So we'd like to really show our appreciation for our rock-solid goalkeeper this year as well through these opens.
I know him!
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That must have taken a long time.
Pull your mask down. I want to see your beautiful face.
No,
They left.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Sorry. So we use the term in our awards, rock solid, because it really, it really takes players who are grounded and who sometimes carry the weight of a team, and they take their role seriously, and they also take their role academically very seriously. And so this individual player, we could probably put them anywhere on the field. But often our team really needed them as a defender this year because we came up against some pretty tough offense. And this person was part of that back line that set our offsides trap, which was effective this year for us against tough teams that should know offsides. And our team was able to pull that trap. And this player was part of that trap. And that can be a really tough thing to coordinate. So this person also is just a really sometimes you get to hear what students want to do with their life, and you get to hear their dreams. We don't always get to hear those, but sometimes we do. And so I love to hear students' dreams. And this person comes with kind of an incredible list of criteria that will, I hope, help her achieve as she continues towards it, this dream of a medical position that could really change the face of families and patients in the future if she chooses to still go into oncology in the future. So our rock solid defender goes to Reyes.
Good job.
You do? Okay. Oh, yes.
I can probably do one.
And this next individual is definitely a seasoned soccer player. It'd be interesting to see if they decide to take it part of their career or just as a recreational venture for themselves, but they really have a lot of talent on the field. So we're so grateful that he was part of this team for the last 2 years. We're glad he came back because he has a lot of expertise as a striker. But his team really needed him in a different position this year. And like most of you players, you were willing to go where your team needed you. So this rock solid midfielder award goes to Carlos Reyes this year. We're sad he's not with us, but we're going to catch up with him this week. He had to work tonight. And then this next one, it'll be exciting to see how this player grows over the next 3 years because we're grateful we get 3 more years. This player came out last year as an 8th grader, was a little quiet and reserved, just a little. But man, does he have wheels, and boy, does he have a foot. So we're really excited to see how this next player explodes over the next few years. And academically, he was shining as an academic student, and so we're really proud of him. He gets our rock solid striker / golden boot award this year. Baruch Palacios. And he was not able to be here with us tonight either. The next 2 awards, we have the honor and privilege really to nominate 2 of our players this year because this is our first district year. So for every player and every parent that was part of this team this year, this is a pretty benchmark time to say we have our first all-district players. These 2 players were leaders academically in school. We would hear how they were kind to their peers, kind to underclassmen, which can sometimes be a rarity. I personally saw both of them reaching out to their teammates last year who were 8th graders and they were juniors, and just really took the time to care about other people. Because soccer is not just about the game of soccer. It's about preparing for life. It's about respect. It's about being creative. It's about how you handle mistakes. It's about how you handle challenges. And so these all-district awards go to 2 players who really shined in both of those areas. But they also have incredible soccer skills. They have technique, they have skill, they have creativity, and they're leaders on our team. And I know the coaching staff is very pleased that they've been on this team the last 2 years. They will be missed. And so we'd like to go ahead and give this all-district award to Andres Guarana. And the other goes to Myra Reyes.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
His legs are tired, he can't come take pictures.
No, it's hard to push buttons.
It's hard to move arms.
You're lazy, flopper. I actually got up and took a picture, flopper.
That's true, he did.
So I just wanted to give a few closing thoughts that I want you players, I wish you could see yourselves the way that I see you. You contribute much to the team, and you had opportunities like no other this year. I've witnessed you, and I'm so thankful for what you brought and persevered through. You brought and experienced a lot of joy and joking, a lot of triumphs and trials, passion and pain, energy and encouragement, perseverance and pressure, intelligence, ingenuity, creativity and commitment, fierceness, focus, and at times fragility, because we're human. But because we have trust, we're able to share those things with one another. We saw you bring greatness and gratitude, sacrifice and self-discipline, acceptance and mental agility, optimism, and a desire to succeed, which doesn't always come by the same equation and the same formula. And its success looks different to different people in different scenarios. And your drive this year for success was incredible. You brought and demonstrated leadership and willingness to follow one another, humility and at times heavy hearts. But you also brought mostly clean feet for taping, and I do appreciate that. And
They're overrated.
What's that? Clean feet are overrated?
Yep.
Ask Julia about them.
They're amazing, come
But
on.
none of us will ever forget the post-game cleat, sock, shin guard, and feet smells, which grew their own legs and filled us. So thank you for the privilege of being your coach, to witness you being your best, to be there when the day has been, well, one of those, which challenges your best. And hey, thanks for showing up and being who you are when we've had one of those days. Because you've made me better, you've made me more resilient, and because of you, my life is richer and fuller. Each of you brought something really special to the field and to the team this year. We needed each one of you, every one of you. You're important, you're valuable, you're unique, and you bring something that no one else can bring. And remember the day that you shared what you said you were going to bring to the team, what you were committing. And remember, well, you said that you needed some things from your team as well. And what a year of giving and receiving it was. A year when most of you played field positions that were not your first or even last preference, and you played almost every position on the field or jumped in as a goalie, Isaac, for the first time in the season during the last game. Why? Because that's what your team needed of you. Because together, we're stronger. We're more agile to handle challenges. This year is one that will remain forever in our minds, special. We'll always say, remember 2020 or remember 2021? Well, we appreciate you giving us the privilege of seeing you rise above all of the uncontrollables we talked about, and to manage all the controllables the way that you did, which at times were great and mighty. So what's next for you? We're not sure for a lot of us, right?
Win state.
Win state, yes.
Tomorrow.
Well, no matter what's next, we'll always be your coaches, which means we're here for you on and off the pitch. So thank you for the privilege of being your coaches this year.
We're organized, I promise we are. No, I just want to, in my closing, just, you know, this has been a great experience to be part of this team, not only watching the kids, but working with Amy and Renee, who have truly inspired me to want to be a better coach myself, to better teach you guys. I've learned so much from the both of them, and I think we're going to continue to grow as a coaching staff and as a team. You know, we are going to, I think we're going to do some great things, like Amy said, but it's been a great season. It's been great to see it from the other side of the field as a coach versus the parent. Being a parent, I mean, it's absolutely wonderful to watch your kids play and the team play. But it was even better to see it from the coach's vantage point, to try to motivate and encourage you guys and to watch you guys grow. We can only do so much of that encouragement and motivation, and then you guys take over the rest. And you guys have shown that you guys work together and you can do that. And I'm very proud of every single one of you. And it's just been a pleasure for you seniors. I wish we had another year because, you know, it's been fun. Well, you know, always giving me a hard time. Huh? What? Yeah. You know.
You like me, though.
Yeah, I do. I love you, man. I love you.
Whoa. Hey! Look who's here.
I told you already, right? I told you. No, it's been a great experience. You know, but all the seniors that are out there, you know, it's gonna be, you guys are gonna have a new adventure ahead of you. Don't stop playing soccer. Don't stop playing sports. It's definitely a growing method as you continue your journey in life. So again, thank you very much, and it's been a pleasure. So thank you.
Well, I don't have anything much to say because I already talked too much. So, just wanted to say thank you guys again for the season, for your commitment, and everything you've done. Like I said, it was hard. We got through it, and I think you know, there's something you can take away from this year in life. That's being resilient and being able to change and roll with the changes, because that's all this last year's been, and you guys have done a phenomenal job of that. So thank you for that. Thank you for staying positive. You know, even when we were struggling mightily sometimes, but you guys came back the following day and went for it. So I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. It's been a phenomenal year. You know, I think we grew together, and I just want to say thank you. Not much more I can say because you guys are awesome. I'm gonna miss you, all you seniors, and hopefully everybody else that's here will come back next year, and we will do this over again. And hopefully, talk to your friends, tell them to come out and contribute. And I think we'll have another great season. So thank you to the coaches, Amy and Ben. Without them, you know, this is not possible. So, you know, I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. You guys made this easy for me, make it easy for me, and couldn't ask for better folks to be here. So, thank you all. Have a good night, and yeah, go do good things.
Yeah, real fast. We can have all the players come up. We just want to take a final little picture up here. And we have these fun little, I don't know, routine things you guys will hold. But come on up.